All right, we got to talk about the auto loan defaults because it's soaring and cars are just as important as our houses. So we already got record amounts of house defaults, but wow, the amount of youngsters going all out for cars is crazy. And one of the reasons why that could be the whole car fiasco is because houses are just so expensive. A lot of young people just feel like houses are so far out of reach. Might as well buy a nice shiny car to satisfy themselves. I personally know a lot of people like that. I know people who make $3,000-$4,000 a month and their car payment is like $1,800 plus their insurance, which is super high because they keep getting pulled over, and it's like a couple hundred right there. And of course, it's more expensive than their rent. So if you look at these car defaults, like before the pandemic, Gen Z, the amount of people defaulting was like 1.75. Now it's at 2.21. Millennials before the pandemic was 1.66. Now it's at 2.14. You clearly see these two age groups, which typically are younger Americans, are now defaulting on auto loans a lot faster than before. And 2024, it should be even higher, with some people predicting the numbers could be hitting 3% or even more for each age group. And if you look into this scenario, there's a lot of people getting their cars repossessed, right? The whole repo market is enormous. The $1.7 billion industry that literally just jacks your car away because you aren't paying them. And that's a humongous market for such a niche thing, which is repoing your car. And according to Cox Automotive, about like 1.5 to 1.8 million vehicles are repossessed annually. The numbers dropped from 1.68 in 2019 to about 1.1 million vehicles in 2021. But here's the crazy part. Yes, it dropped a little bit, but from 2021 to now, the number is now speeding up really quickly. And the majority of the guys that literally get destroyed are the Gen Z and the millennials. Because if you look at what's going on with the car payments, it is astronomically high. Typically, people don't spend $1,000 a month on car, but now you have 17.5%, which is almost 20%, almost 1 in 5 Americans spending more than $1,000 on car payments. Here's the thing, guys. If you're making mad money and if you're making like $10, $15, $20,000, be my guest. Spend $1,000 on cars. But it's not about just the $1,000 payment. It's also about the insurance, the fees, the plate. It's so expensive, especially if you get like a Porsche or like a Rover. And these $1,000 payments, when you add everything together, it's more like $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 a month. So yeah, this is why people are going wild. Because usually it was like what, 5 to 6% of all car payments, especially the new ones, are $1,000 a month. Now it's at almost 20%. And some people are saying that 2024, we could be hitting 25% of all car payments in the new sector, hitting like over $1,000. And it's not just about that. Like I said, the insurance is super expensive. According to the 2023 U.S. Auto Insurance Study from J.D. Power, 31% of car insurance companies in the U.S. actually had a huge increase in the past year. Overall, the industry reported an average price increase of 15.5%, whereas some states like Florida saw an increase of 88%. And despite the inflation cooling, insurance costs is still hyper expensive, especially for all the poor saps out there who live in Florida. Your insurance for cars, houses, and everything is just so much pricier than other Americans. And with the housing market still at a pretty expensive area, we're seeing a lot of people having the attitude of screw saving up for a house because I could never afford it, and they go all out on like a Dodge Hellcat Scat Pack, which is super expensive, or like a nice Ford Mustang, or they just buy like a Porsche or a Range Rover. These are all very expensive cars with insane car payments, but young people seem to be buying a lot of things that they can't pay. We're literally living in a culture where it's buy now, pay later. Whereas back in the old days, it was buy now, pay now. But I've been seeing so many people not just buying expensive cars, but also expensive items. Like you're making $2,000 to $2,500 a month, and you buy a $1,500 TV on Black Friday. I mean, sure, reward yourself, but for real, that's crazy. And here's the thing, a lot of Americans are also getting their cars repossessed. Usually when they're sold, they still owe money after the possession. Their credit absolutely tanks, so it's hard for them to get any house, any loan, or even rent at a decent location. And remaining debt, it will be sent to collectors, and just a massive headache after that. So thanks for watching, guys. Comment below, how do you guys feel about the car market so far? Seems like things are really getting crazy.